Right, so let's get started on this Satelitte 70s Japanese guitar. So if you haven't watched the videos before, I bought this locally from Gumtree. I paid £50 along with a little Marshall amp. These strings are completely flat, so they need changing. The action's mega high. The bridge is as low as it can go, so I'm going to need to shim the neck. New strings on. You can't set the intonation on these, so hopefully it ain't too bad. I'll adjust the pickup height. I'm going to take this pick guard off, have a little look behind. The electrics all seem fine. These pots were a little crackly, but a bit of wiggling should sort them out. Yeah, just need to set the action. This nut on the low E string's a little low. I might be able to get away with it, but we'll have a look at that. We'll keep an eye on that. If it needs raising up a bit, we'll see what we can do with it. But yeah, these are 70s made, late 60s, 70s. Hopefully there'll be a date stamp on it so I can work out what year it is, but on the outside there's no serial numbers or anything. It's a plywood body. It's quite thin, as you can see. It's a 3/4 size, short scale, 24-inch scale. Pretty much the same size neck as a Mustang, so I'm guessing they're a bit of a Mustang rip-off. These switches are just to turn each pickup off, so that controls that. That turns the bridge one off. Yeah, so right, first thing is get these strings off, and we'll see what we're dealing with underneath. Strings are off. So originally this would have had a tremolo arm. I'll put a picture in now of what it would have looked like. It would have had a spring, sort of a Bigsby style setup. So obviously I haven't got that, so I'm just going to use this as a hardtail. I think once the strings are tightened up, this basically just stays still anyway. So yeah, next thing, let's get this pick guard off, have a quick look under here, see what we're dealing with. Okay, moment of truth. So I'm guessing this probably hasn't been open for 40 plus years. So let's have a little look. Yeah, so definitely a plywood body. There's the electrics. And we have got, I can make out what they are now. They are okay, so we've got two 500k pots. I'm guessing these are, I think they're ceramic pickups. I can't really see under there. See if we can get a bit of light in there. Yeah, ceramic pickups. Yeah, looks pretty decent under there. Solder joints all look good, but it's never been messed with. Totally original. But I can't see any date stamps, unfortunately. Nope. So let's get that back on. Now I've had a little nosy. Yeah, I'm quite happy under there. Nothing looks out of place. Just a little wipe down. Right, so I'm going to screw that back in, and then we'll get the neck off. Right, so pick guard's back on. I'm going to flip it over, and then we'll get this neck off. Yeah, no serial numbers or date stamps. It's a bit of a shame, so I really would like to yeah, no, still got no date stamps. It's a shame. That's the neck pocket. But there's no sort of chipping or real cracking around the edge. There's a little tiny crack just in the paint there, nothing to worry about. So move that out of the way. Yeah, so no date stamps on that either. Unfortunately, there is something there, but it's a very faint line. Yeah, a little bit of fretwear. It is 40 plus years old, so I won't worry too much about that. As long as I can get the action down right and it's not buzzing overly bad, I wouldn't worry too much. As long as I can get it playing, you know, just a little general player guitar. But definitely digging that vintage look. In terms of the relief in the neck, I measured it before I took it off and it was 0.25 mil. Normally I go about 0.3, but I think for the sake of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I think I'll just leave it alone for now. But we'll set it up, see how it plays like. If it needs a bit more relief in the neck, we'll sort that out. But yeah, I'm quite happy with how it is. Even with the old strings on, I'll give it a little check, and yeah, the only real thing that concerned me was this nut is a little too deep, but the frets, they all didn't seem to buzz or anything. There's a little bit of chipping just there on the underside of the neck. I oiled these tuners up and they're definitely a lot smoother now. Yeah, but none of these have split or anything. Little tiny crack there, but yeah, we'll get away with that. So let's stick a shim in. Okay, so the action was at about 3 mil on the 12th fret. So what I reckon will work is if I chop up a bit of a credit card. I haven't got much room to play with where the bolts are. Let me show you. So I'm just going to stick a little shim in just in this side of the holes there, and I think we should be good. Can we chop a bit of that off? We should be good with that, I reckon. See that? That should be enough to get a bit of an angle on the neck. Okay, so let's get this back on. What we'll do is I'll put these screws back in, and we'll set it all up and see how we're doing, see if the actions, you know, works better with the shim. And what I'll do is I'll come back to these bolts after, and I'll get a little tea light candle, just get it so the wax melts, and I'll just dip the end of these screws into the wax and then put them back in, just so they give a better seal around the neck. So obviously it's an old guitar, old wood, the wood would have shrunk. I think we should be good. Okay, yeah. Don't know where you can see that, just a bit more of an angle on it. Okay, so I'm going to fit a set of strings on now. I've gone for D'Addario EXL 110s, 10 to 46. That's my preference on short scale guitars, so we'll fit them now. And a helpful tip, paint roller. Cheap and cheerful. Always good for propping up a guitar neck. Okay, strings are on. So just snip these off. Okay, tuned up ish. It's definitely rattling. So I know we are definitely a bit low now. That's right. So currently we are 0.5 mil on the 12th fret on the high, low E, and 0.25 mil on the high E. So we definitely need to raise the action so it shows this has definitely worked. Obviously these are on the lowest settings, so what I need to do now is twist these, and this will raise the bridge. So I'm going to do this with the guitar in my lap, because with the guitar laying down, the neck bowing, it does affect the height. So I will flip you around and we'll set the action. Right, so I'm just going to try it at 1.75 on the low E, and I go 125 on the high E. It should be about there. Just going to tune it up. Yeah, and the truss rod still looks good, about 0.25. Right, let's see what the intonation's doing. Yeah, so it's sharp. It's not far, just a tad too sharp, but no, that's pretty good. G's a bit sharp, B sharp, E's pretty bang on, but again there's no way of adjusting the intonation on these, so I'm going to have to go with what I've got. New strings on, action set, shim the neck. So let me just check that again. Ooh, I probably need to come down a wee bit. Just a tad. Yep, I think we're good there. Let me tune that again. So that was on about the nuts a little low. It's not buzzing. Always make sure you give your strings a good stretch, else you will constantly be going out of tune really easily. So I'm going to stretch them, and then I reckon plug it in, and we'll give it a quick review and a demo. Okay, so we've got all plugged in now. It may take a couple of days for the wood to settle back in, because I've done some, you know, quite extreme work to it with the neck off and all that. So hopefully the tuning holds out. Intonation, you can't set them on these, so we'll have to play with what we got. One thing I have noticed, we've got a dead fret. That is on the D string on the first fret. It's nothing to do with the bridge, it is literally the fret is worn away. So every other fret on the fingerboard is fine, but just that one. So yeah, that's going to need some attention. But again, it's a cheapy Japanese guitar. It's 40 years old. You can still play around it with rhythm, as long as you're not doing any intricate lead work at that end of the fingerboard. But everything else sounds pretty good. Right, so I'm going to give her a little whirl now. Bear with me, I've got big ends and this is a narrow fingerboard, so I may hit some bum notes, but I'll do my best. I'm just going to start on the neck position, play a bit of rhythm, distortion and a bit of lead over the top. So here we go. Both the pickups turned on now. Just that bridge pickup on its own now. Right, so there you go, that was the Satelitte Japanese Mustang style guitar from the 1970s. I couldn't get an exact date on it unfortunately, but yeah. So you got 2 single coil pickups, you got on off switching, master volume tone control, input jack. This would have originally had a tremolo sort of Bigsby style setup, but it's basically just hardtailed now. You got your Mustang style look to that headstock there with the plastic tuners, open back tuners. But yeah, for something that's 40 years plus, it ain't in bad nick with that nice 3-tone sunburst. A few little nicks around the edge, but nothing major. But yeah, I couldn't find where these were made originally, so if anybody knows the factory which they was made, all I know is that it was made in Japan. For the English market, there was aimed to be sold at Woolworths, aimed at beginners, so it's a 3/4 size guitar with a 24-inch scale neck. But yeah, very narrow when you come up to this sort of part of the fingerboard. Again, decent condition, just one issue with that. See if I can get it in there with that dead fret on the first fret on the D string, which is a bit of a bummer, but I'm sure something can be sorted with that pretty easy. But there you go, hope you dig that. This should hopefully be the first of many old sort of Japanese 70s 80s guitars that I'm going to sort of start doing videos on. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the setup video and the demo and review. Let me know what you think of it. One thing I will say, these pickups are a little bit microphonic, so you do get quite a bit of feedback. And if you're shouting them, you can hear your voice for the speakers. But it's a budget guitar from back in the day, so you know, yeah, good little fun guitar to play with. You know, if you're travelling, got kids, just want to sit on the sofa playing, it is fun and it's got a pretty big sound. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I hope you like the video. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications to stay up to date on all the new videos. Follow me on Instagram, The Meat Manifesto, and that's probably about it for now. So I'm going to have a little play around with this, and thanks for watching. See you all soon. Peace.